Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series, and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Checkered Flag Autos by Scrambler series here from the Rockingham Speedway. It's the first time we've run the next generation Cup cars right here at the famous Rock. Of course, Rockingham Speedway here in North Carolina. It's been vacant on the NASCAR scene for many years, but, well, the rumor has it through the garage areas, it's coming back to real world NASCAR. Here on the iRacing.com platform, though, we have never lost the Rockingham Speedway. We've been here multiple times over the years, just not with these next generation Cup cars. And now tonight we come here with these machines in the playoffs, the round of 12, which is 15 this season, after last week's we'll call the fireworks session with Zach Mitchell, able to go to victory lane to lock himself into the round of 8. He's the only driver that comes in tonight that is secure, because between those 15 drivers, it's just 22 points between being in and last. So, anything can happen here tonight as we're getting ready to go racing. 110 laps is on the docket, but first, it's through the starting lineup we go here tonight. Starting lineup brought to us by our friends over at Simbox. Make sure to pick up your Simbox today for all your sim racing needs. Starting on the pole here tonight, it's going to be car number 42. Max Terrio will start on the pole. But his outside of the number 86 of James Skelton. Joe Strano has his best qualifying effort of the season. He'll go third here tonight in the Road Rage Accessories 43. To the outside of him then in car number 6, starting into the 4th spot, out of Virginia, this is Chris Hammett. And the driver out of South Carolina, the Full Throttle Racing Adventure in Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch, will go 5th here tonight. And the driver out of Tennessee, driving the number 62, Ethan Troutman. And back into the 7th spot, out of Florida, driving the Ref Esports number 2, this is Michael Trevarthen. While next to him, driving the Souza Medium number 4, that's Jeffrey Souza. And starting back into the 9th spot, out of Massachusetts, driving car number 14, the Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe number 14, that's Brian Bianchi. Out of Canton, Michigan, that's the number 98 of Ryan O'Donnell. He'll start back there in P number 10. Starting back into P number 11 here tonight, that's the number 11 of Sean Single. 12th, we'll go to DJ Anderson in car number 51, starting 13th on the call here tonight, the aging hipster, the number 73 of Philly Edwards. Back into the 14th spot. Welcome back here, Dave Bragg, as he is back here tonight. He'll roll the 31 off 14th. 15th to go to the Grady Hips Walkers and Canes entry. Well, back into 16th to be the Checkered Flag Autos by number 40 of Rob Higgins. Back into the 17th starting spot here tonight. That's the driver that just picked up a heat race win on the real world side of things. That's the number 38 of Brandon Feeney. Kevin O'Brien will start back there then in the 18th position. 18th, for the driver out of Australia. Starting lineup there on the field as we're ready to go racing here tonight. There you see them all out there. 110 laps the distance. Oh, let's go racing. 42 of Max Tarrant with a great start. See if he can lead us down the back right away. He will. One driver to the inside wall. I believe that's the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. Buckley has some sparks flying out from underneath the Rockingham Walkers and Canes number 13. As you can see, the left front is a little wibble wobbly right now. One lap in the books. We'll go to the 42 of Max Tarrant as the race leader. Joshua Buckley still continuing to have some issues here. Another driver sideways back there. I believe that's the 11 of Sean Single. Shonica gonna spin it around, and oh boy, everybody misses him. Everybody misses the number 11 of Sean Single as he went spinning down the back straightaway. As let's take a look back here at Sean Single's little incident. Little loose off the corner. And then spins it around. I believe that was the Dan Murphy Jr. entry. Right on board with Dan Murphy Jr. Oi! Clear, clear, clear. All of a sudden not clear. Was able to get through there. But boy, it was tight. So Max Tarrant does lead the first handful of laps here. Two drivers having some issues. Joshua Buckley and the Rockingham Walkers and Canes, number 13. He'll come to pit road. He'll see if he can get some damage fixed on that number 13 machine. Number 3 of Tony Strano also down pit road. Brandon Feeney's down pit road. There's some takers. Kevin O'Brien, Sean Single. So it's Max Tarrant, Chris Hammett, Richard Murdoch, Joe Strano, Michael Trevorthan, Ethan Troutman, Jeffrey Sousa, Ryan O'Donoghue, Brian Bianchi, and DJ Anderson currently here. Our top drivers. Bruce Potter looks like he did not make the call to the grid here tonight. The driver of car number 59 out of Alabama, not going to be credited with a start here tonight, so it did not start for the number 59 of Bruce Potter. Did look like on our scoring that he did have a disconnect, unfortunately, right before our qualifying session, so possibly internet issues plaguing the number 59 of Bruce Potter. Maybe we'll see if he is able to actually get out here and turn a couple laps here tonight. Everybody back out onto the raceway except for the number 13 of Joshua Buckley, the driver out of Massachusetts. Right now still the only driver that is down on pit road. Remember, he had made contact with the inside wall out of turn number 2. See, Barney, he has the yellow flag. Now he'll throw that yellow flag away when you see the cars appear, this time out of turn number 4. Behind the iRacing.com safety car. That means this time by, we're going to drop the hammer here once again. As here we go. Great start by everybody up through the gearboxes this time. See if everybody's able to make it out of turn 2. That time a much better start by Chris Hammett there for a moment. Was going to try and contend for the race lead, but will not make it work. Battle though for the 3rd spot. Murdoch and Strano. That's Joe Strano to the outside, Richard Murdoch down on the bottom, and there's the number 2. That's Michael Trevorthan trying to see if he can dig, dive, and wiggle his way in. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Murdoch just going to lift out of it. Wants nothing to do with 3 wide racing. Smart move by the wily veteran there of Murdoch, but that's going to put him under attack because here comes the Souza Media, number 4. Souza going to dive to the inside, and there's Ryan O'Donnell, the Turbo Dork Radical Paint Entry. Souza's going to be the one to lift that time. So Souza lifts out of the throttle. Murdoch sideways trying to hang on to her, boy. Murdoch hangs on, and when he enters turn 3, just at an awkward angle. Look who's already inside the top 10. That's the number 86 of James Skelton. Skelton had to start at the back of the field here tonight at Rockingham. And now within inside 10 laps, he's, well, inside the top 10. Sideways for the number 62 of Ethan Troutman. Bunch of drivers having a little bit of problems off turn number 2 there. Everybody's still trying to get back to Max Terriel. You still see off turn 2 everybody having some problems. One car sideways, going to spin it around. That's the number 30, I believe, of Bob Higgins. Higgins going to find the outside wall with the checkered flag all supply. I know there's sparks flying out the back of that Ford Mustang also. Unfortunately for Higgins, he's going to have to go to pit road now. Comes that 4 car. Always finds his way to the front. New colors on his number 4 this week here at Rockingham. Higgins does take his car to pit road, so he will be off the racing surface. He will not be a problem here. Sean Single way back here after his spin. He's gained a couple positions. Now he's trying to go after the number 73, the Genesee Cream Ale number 73. That is Philly Edwards. Edwards going to be able to hold off the Nickelodeon slide machine here of Shanika Single. Battle, though, between Ryan O'Donnell and Joe Strano. This is inside the top 5. Ryan O'Donnell in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints Pride colors this month with his brand new Cup car. That's the spot for 5th. Remember, Joe Strano qualified inside the top 5. Ryan O'Donnell was outside the top 5. He actually started 10th in his Ford Mustang. So he's got the ponies underneath the hood here tonight that are working for him. Little side draft there, maybe a little contact between Ryan O'Donnell and Joe Strano. Strano's able to keep the ponies wound up on the outside and right on board with him. Very bumpy speedway here at Rockingham. You want to run the bottom, but those bumps are just going to shoot you up the track all night long. These drivers having to shift. You hear Joe going down in the corner, downshifting. Down to 4th gear in the corners. Out of the corner, having to play with the throttle that time. Going to bump up the 5th gear there, then back down to 4th. So 4th and 5th gear being utilized here tonight. Oh, Ryan O'Donnell, little loose, big wiggle that time. Max Terriel started to open up the gap over Michael Trevarthen, who did take that 2nd spot away about, call it 3 laps ago. As we continue to watch this battle back here, just inside the top 10. Now there is James Skelton. Benswell number 86 here tonight. Good looking colors on the side of that Toyota. Trying to come through the field. So he'll go to the outside of Ryan O'Donnell. O'Donnell sideways that time off turn 4. These cars a handful here tonight at Rockingham. O'Donnell was inside the top 5. Remember, he was battling with Joe Strano. Now he's back to sitting into the 9th spot as there goes the Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe, number 14, and Brian Bianchi to take that spot. Ryan looks like he's having some handling issues on that car. But he does get it gathered back up. One driver that looks like he has called it a night here tonight, though, that is going to be the number 30 of Bob Higgins, as the 73 of Philly Edwards washes up the speedway. So Philly Edwards going to lose the spot there to Sean Single. There goes Dave Bragg, and we all know the Dave Bragg. Oh, Bragg and Edwards, a little contact. They both hang on to it, but boy, that was a close one there between those two. Edwards going to run the high side of the speedway, try and carry the momentum, but we all know the Dave Bragg story, him and his daughter Ava. Of course, Bragg having to rush his daughter to the hospital, and now, well, she's back home. She's doing well. She did give the command on Thursday night here with our Checkered Flag Auto Supply Modified Series. It was one heck of a show. He's back here tonight. One driver, I believe, just had some problems. I'm not quite sure. I think that was the number 51 of DJ Anderson. Anderson saying tonight that this is not his favorite track. And there's the 51, the Fox Shocks entry. I believe he took a big slide off turn number 2 last time, but looks all right. Just sitting there into the 12th spot, kind of hovering around. Talking about hovering around, these drivers, they have not left each other. Remember, we talked about Ryan O'Donnell falling through the field, and of course, you see the 86 of James Skilton powering through the field in that Toyota, that Shell Pennsville Toyota. He'll get to the outside of the Biggie Bag Wendy's number 62 of Ethan Troutman down the back straightaway. Troutman going to lift a little bit early. There goes Brian Bianchi. He'll make the pass also. So that'll put now the number 62 back into the 8th spot. There's Murdoch back there, and he'll take the big wiggle off turn number 4. Murdoch takes the wiggle. There is the number 11 of Shanika Single now coming back into the picture. "25 laps into the books, and there's some big moves. Almost 3 wide racing here. Joe Strandle down on the bottom. He's got the number 4, Jeffrey Souza, wound up high side. He's got the 86 of James Skelton also looking onto the high side there. Now here comes Brian Bianchi. We saw some of these drivers inside the top 5 early. Now they're starting to fade. Ryan O'Donnell's picked up 1 spot back, so now he's back into the 7th spot now as he gets around Joe Strano, actually. Here comes Richard Murdoch. Murdoch was up into the top 5 at one point here tonight and then fallen back. Joe Strano, possibly something going awry on the Road Rage Accessories number 43, because he is fading backwards here tonight. So now Joe Strano back to running into the 11th spot, down 8 spots from where he started here tonight. That's not the trending direction that you want to go. Souza and Skelton, though. James Skelton, of course, leading a bunch of laps last week, not getting the finish that he thought he deserved. Did come across the line, though, sitting in 3rd after the checkered flag. He's running currently 4th. He was qualified into the 2nd spot, but unapproved adjustments had to go to the back of the field. Worked his way through already. Sean Single, after his slide, has cooled his roll here tonight, and now he's up into the 10th spot after, well, he was inside the top 10 at the time of his spin. Bring out the caution flag. Nobody hit him. 1 car up the speedway. That's the 62 of Troutman. Troutman going to make contact with the outside barrier there in turns 1 and 2. That allows the Single machine to get to the inside even, well, a little bit farther up, kind of inching. Every little inch is going to matter here for Sean Single. DJ Anderson right there into the battle now. DJ Anderson had to start back into the 12th spot, and now he has worked his way into the battle to try and break into the top 10. The first time here tonight with that Fox entry. He actually offered to pay to never have to race this track again. But unfortunately, it's on the schedule this season, and we have to run this track. So we're here tonight in the second race. Max Terrell's still out front. We haven't shown him in a while, but that's because there's nothing to talk about. The 42 of Max Terrell is out front, and he is starting to really roll away from the field. There's the leader. There's our second place car. That's Chris Hammond in the Valvoline. Throwback to Mark Martin entry. He's back there running in second. And James Skelton, who's put in the most laps I've ever seen a driver put in here at the Rockingham Speedway. He's now sitting into the third spot. Michael Trevarthen is sitting there fourth. Fifth is Brian Bianchi, but he's under attack because here comes Richard Murdoch. Old Dick Doc is now trying to get back into the top five, and he will do that as he gets around Brian Bianchi. So now putting Murdoch back into the fifth spot here tonight. Murdoch doing exactly what he needs to do. DJ Anderson trying to do the same thing as he's trying to continue his climb. Now you see the Wendy's Biggie Bag, number 62 out of Tennessee. Dropping some spots. One driver back out onto the raceway road. There is that number 13. And Joshua Buckley had the incident on the opening lap. So now Josh Buckley sitting back into the 20th spot currently right now. So he is, I'm looking at it, the first car that is any laps down. He's 21 laps down behind the race leader, though. Max Terrell still out front. 3.5 second lead over the rest of your field. Brian Bianchi turning some of the fastest laps right now. 25.6 last time by. Your race leader at 25.64. So Brian Bianchi in the Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe entry as we close in on what I assume will be our first round of green flag pit cycles tonight. So Bianchi does get around the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Souza and Single are doing the jig, and I'm looking at it. And Sean Single, after his spin that he had on lap number 2, he did come down the pit road, and Sean Single is, well, down a set of tires here tonight. So he's kind of off the strategy that everybody else is. Ryan O'Donnell starting to creep back into the picture in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints Pride colors here this month. Currently, O'Donnell is running back into P number 8. Sean Single now working to the outside here in the number 2. These two drivers, no stranger to running wheel to wheel because they run in the modified series on Thursday night, the short track series that we do have here with Red Light Racing. Next season for that Scrambler, or for the Thursday night program of short tracks will go into a Scrambler format, so something sort of like our Monday night series here where we run a bunch of tracks, we kind of scramble all the cars and tracks up and we go at it. So we won't just run the Tour Modified next season, we're going to run Legends and Street Stocks and Super Late Models and SK Modifieds, a little bit of everything in the mixed bag of tricks. You see that 4-car, oh, Ryan O'Donnell into the outside Armco barrier that time. The safer barrier off turn number 2. He bounced it off, but I don't see damage. These cars are very sensitive on getting damage. But it does not look like Ryan O'Donnell has had a problem with his car falling apart. It looks like that Mustang is A-OK, close to the wall that time. 1 and 2, though. Something happened to Dave Bragg. He was coming to pit road. I just pulled on over. Something maybe blowing up on that car, which put him to pit road. James Skelton just getting around Chris Hammett, though. So Skelton now inside the top 3. He's now running in second. Something, maybe the tires on Chris Hammett's car have gone away because he's now fallen back to running into the 4th spot. And there you see that's the 13 of Joshua Buckley. Buckley is not on the lead lap, so it's not a car that's battling for position with those drivers inside the top 4. Murdoch back into that 3rd spot here now. Trending into the right direction is the old Foundation. Murdoch had himself a good run last week. He comes in actually 4th overall in the playoff picture. So trying to have a good showing here tonight in advance. Troutman now has fallen back to the 9th spot, and more cars down to the inside to try and get around him. One driver was down on pit road. That was Brandon Feeney. So Feeney making his pit stop here on lap number 44. There's Dan Murphy Jr. Dan Murphy Jr. not running a full schedule here on the Monday night program. He is running when he is in town. And, well, we're good to see him back here behind the wheel of the 941. He is a rookie this season. Oh! Into the back of the number 43 of Joe Strano. He'll get into the back of Strano, and Ryan O'Donnell had to really hit the hooks in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. They all made contact. 3 little cars around the bottom side of the speedway. Now Ryan O'Donnell is going to go to the outside. There you see the 38. That's Brandon Feeney. Feeney, of course, remember, he was already on pit road. Back on lap number 41, actually, is what it's telling me. 41 there, lap 41. Now here comes that 941. Dan Murphy Jr. will come to pit road. Couple other drivers. There comes the 43, Joe Strano. There comes Rob Higgins. That's also Michael Trevarthen coming to pit road. Here comes the race leader. Max Terrell will come to pit road too at this point here on lap number 47. So the floodgates are open. James Skelton having issues back and forth, back and forth. Skelton going to tank slap the outside wall there, but he is able to get down to pit road speed. He was coming in hot and heavy, that is for sure. Take a look at the 86 here. Point it at the inside wall, correct it, drive it, just slap it off like you're driving a dirt car, and hey. Hey, okay. Right on board. Watch the hands down there. That had wall written all over it 3 times, and he's going to end up saving it. Heck of a drive. So right now, in the midst of those green flag pit cycles, you're going to see drivers starting to cycle themselves towards the top of the leaderboards that were not there early on in this race. DJ Anderson going to get a lap led here. He is one of the drivers that are in the playoffs. Wants to have himself a good run here tonight. He is the only driver that has not come to pit road at this point here on lap number 50. So this is at least a 2-stop race now here as they come down on lap 50. Caution lights are on. Caution lights are on. Brandon Feeney having an issue, it looks like, in the number 38. Well, look at Mr. DJ Anderson now. Goes from running about the 13th position to being the driver that stays out here and catches a very lucky caution flag. The entire field is now 1 lap down to the number 51 of DJ Anderson. So pit road is going to be a lonely place for Mr. Anderson here when it does open up. Everybody else has made their pit stop, though. Let's take a look back here, though, and see what happened to Brandon Feeney. Looks like something just broke on the number 38, locked it up, and took it to pit road then. Possibly some, I'm being told, some computer issues for the number 38 of Brandon Feeney, I believe. As you see him disappear, and unfortunately will not get a finish that he thought he deserved here tonight. Back live, we're going to see what DJ Anderson does because he has not pitted here. We will see if he is actually at his pit window for the 51. Or is he going to stay out here and keep everybody trapped a lap down? Maybe he can go a little bit farther, but let's take a look. Does he dive to pit road here? as he comes to pit road. That will allow all the other drivers here tonight to work their way back onto the lead lap. While we're under caution, though, here, we're going to take a quick break from Rockingham. We'll be right back here with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series here on Monday night.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Perfect timing as the field is coming out of turn number 4. You see it looks like everybody down around the bottom side. Well, that's because everybody took that wave around the iRacing.com pace car, so they line up single file back on the lead lap, except for one driver to the outside, and that is the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. So Buckley, a car lap down to the outside. Everybody else getting back on the lead lap, chasing the number 51 of DJ Anderson down into 1. Everybody back on the lead lap now. So, we'll see as everybody had to start single file. Kind of reminded me of an old school NASCAR race. One driver to pit road, though. Number 11 of Sean Single, unexpected pit stop here. Right after we went back green flag racing, the driver out of Ayer, Massachusetts, in that Nickelodeon BK Paints Care Bear Scooby-Doo entry. Had some SpongeBob to the side of that car this week. But it is the 51 of DJ Anderson leading here tonight. Max Terra led all the laps before that green flag pit cycle started. And after the green flag pit cycle started, everything kind of got shuffled up. And one driver facing towards the inside wall, I believe it was the Kevin O'Brien entry, and that was the Jim Beam Bourbon, number 184, the driver out of New South Wales, Australia. So he'll lose a couple of spots as we went back racing here. At the front of the field, though, James Skelton's trying to follow Max Terra. Max Terra back to the race lead, and now he'll get under the 51, so puts Skelton into second. Anderson back into the third spot. Chris Hammett back there running fourth. Fifth goes to Richard Murdoch as they cross the line here on lap number 59. Next time by, complete 59 and go on lap 60. Ethan Troutman trying to work the bottom side of the speedway. Currently running into the top 10. That's Ryan O'Donnell. O'Donnell back there just kind of running into the no man's land. Max Terrell still out front, but boy does he have competition now. There's the battle for the race lead. There goes James Skelton, shot out of turn number 2. Skelton down into turn number 3. He'll be the new race leader here tonight for the first time. The driver out of South Carolina, who will take to the top spot. James Skelton now, the Pennzoil, number 86, Flowertown Animal Hospital. New race leader, and he came out with a vengeance here tonight. Wanted to prove to the field that he could come from the back to the front and not have an issue. Put out a public apology after last week's race. Tempers flaring in the playoffs. Every driver wanting to lock themselves into the next round right off the jump. Of course, Zach Mitchell was the one who was able to do that. He's not here this week. He is away on vacation. So that win last week for Zach Mitchell was very big. This pack back here, this mid-pack, it's, Richard Murdoch, Jeffrey Sousa, Michael Trevarthen, Joe Strano, Ethan Troutman. These drivers have all been kind of together this whole entire 63 laps of this race here tonight, and they have not let each other go. It's been a dog-eat-dog fight, and now you throw the number 13 on Joshua Buckley back here. He's just following in the footsteps of everybody. Right on board with him. See what this track looks like. It almost reminds you of riding on a boat with some waves. And Buckley, hang on to her. Buckley, hang on to her. He's spinning. Joshua Buckley going to spin to the inside wall, and the green flag stays out because he spun it down to the inside. The officials don't think it's going to be worthy of a caution flag, so the Granite Hips Walkers and Canes number 13. Let's watch it back here. This is what actually happened. Loose, into the wall. Loose, hanging on to her. Into the inside wall. 360, not a kickflip, but a 360. He'll spin it back around and he'll hammer back into it. There you see him, he's still out there. That's the two leaders, though, right now. The number 86 of Scotland, Trevarthen is right, Terrill is right there. Chris Hammett, a little bit farther back, DJ Anderson, Richard Murdoch, and the whole gang. Troutman in the biggie bag entry, trying to get around Joe Strano. They were side by side, entering the corner, no longer side by side. Kevin O'Brien doing a little bit of battling, though. That's with the number 14, the Culpeppers Bakery Cafe entry, Brian Bianchi. He was up inside the top 5, but that, of course, untimely pit stop trapped him a lap down and out of off sync, and just kind of got him all confused. That crew trying to get that car back on schedule. He was one of the fastest cars, remember, right before that green flag pit cycle kicked off here tonight. So we'll see if he can get back on the go-go pedal and back into the top 10, the top 5 possibly by the end of the night here. So a long way to go. DJ Anderson, for the driver that was outside the top 10, has found a home right now running into the 4th spot. He did take the race lead under the green flag pit cycle and then restarted this race out front, falling back to 4th here in the first handful of laps behind Skelton, Terrill, and Hammett. Now has just kind of been running in front of Richard Murdoch, Jeffrey Sousa, and the whole gang back here. Nobody's been able to really shut him out of the way and put him back in, well, maybe back to where he was before that yellow flag flying here tonight. So he's able to hold off the Hungry Wolves. Sousa keeps taking a peek to the inside, just not quite able to do anything with it. This is one of those tracks that we figured were going to fit right into the wheelhouse for Jeffrey Sousa. An abrasive track that you really have to kind of know where your car stands and not over push it. It's exactly what he's one of those drivers that's really good at doing. Now here goes Murdoch, though, to the inside of that Fox number 51 of DJ Anderson. Not able to get the grip down low, so he'll fall back in the adventure in Pixel 01. Does Richard Murdoch. Nothing's changed out front. There it is. There's the battle for the race lead. Not much of a battle. It's about a 3-car-like lead down the back straightaway. Thunder Rally, they call it here. James Skelton still the race leader. Kevin O'Brien, Rob Higgins battling. Everybody sorts that one out. It'll be Rob Higgins coming out on top there. Dan Murphy Jr., Kevin O'Brien, and Philly Edwards. They're all battling back there 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th on the call. When you look at the top drivers on this list, though, you see James Skelton, you see Max Theriault, Chris Hammett, DJ Anderson. Well, some of these drivers last week didn't have a really good showing. Max Theriault comes into the night in the 12th spot. That's 4 spots out of advancing. When you look at it, it looks like 11 points is what he has to pick up here tonight to advance into the next round. DJ Anderson also in that same kind of basket. He was just about 6 points out of advancing in. Chris Hammett's right there also. They're all below the cut line coming into the night, so they need to have these good runs here to put themselves into the next round because, well, we're only taking 8 drivers. 15 drivers to enter the first round of the playoffs, cutting it down to just 8. That's after the 110 laps scheduled here tonight. So Max knows he just has to have a solid run. Of course, he could go out here and win, and that would guarantee him, as he's sideways off turn 2, would guarantee him a spot into the next round of the playoffs. But just a good run. He could also point himself in, and that's exactly what he's doing here tonight. Him and Chris Hampton and DJ Anderson having themselves great runs, and Anderson still been able to hold off Richard Murdoch. Murdoch going to the high side down in turn number 1. Here how bumpy it is out there. That 51 of Anderson really playing with the throttle. Murdoch this time down at 3 and 4 just kind of tucks in line. Working lap number 79 here. Looking at it, these drivers are about possibly 10 laps away from green flag pit cycles as the battle is now for that 3rd spot. Chris Hammett kind of opened up the door here. He started to fade. We saw that 6-car start to back up on the long run last time. DJ Anderson is sitting there into the 4th spot. And now I'm starting to wonder, I'm starting to try and do a little bit of math in my head. Does DJ Anderson have enough fuel in his car to go the whole way here tonight, possibly? He was the last driver that was able to pit, and that was on lap number 52. Does he have enough to go all the way? Murdoch to pit road this time by. The driver of the Adventure in Pixel 01 will be the first driver to dive onto pit road. He must have hit his fuel number now. It's a slow 45 miles an hour down pit road. He's joined by Rob Higgins, so Higgins a pit. Your race leader stays out. This is where we could see the bag of strategy really start to open up here. Some drivers may come early and try to get the tire advantage, go a little bit quicker. Some drivers, well, they may decide to stay out and try and play it like DJ Anderson did, and possibly wait for a caution flag to come out if it would. Anderson still trying to get around that number 6 machine if he can. Crazy that this track being so bumpy, the Cars Tour Super Late Model Series is actually going to be headed to the Rockingham Speedway, or actually has already ran a race this season at Rockingham. I believe there's another one scheduled this year. It's bumpy here on iRacing, and you can guarantee it's bumpy in real life. These tracks laser scanned to perfection, done by the whole iRacing crew. They travel around the country scanning some historic tracks and some new bull rings around the country. Hammond up the speedway once again. This is the best battle on the speedway. Actually, now somebody side by side again. That was the Philly Edwards and the 3 of Tony Strano. Edwards up against the outside, trying to scrape a little bit of that Genesee Cream Ale tin can off the right-hand side. 42 of Max Terriot coming to pit road. He'll make his final stop here tonight with 25 laps to go. So the countdown is on. It's the final countdown here tonight at Rockingham. Now James Skelton saw the 42 of Max Terriot come to pit road. Does he come to pit road right here? As it looks like the 86 will. This time a little ginger on the entry to pit road, so he will make his way down. It'll be 45 miles an hour for the 86, so James Skelton. Just trying to get it there to pit road. Chris Hammond to take over the race lead for the first time here tonight. That Valvoline number 6 goes to the top spot. But not for very long, because here he comes to pit road. Souza also going to bring the Souza Media number 4 to pit road, too. So 2 more Ford Mustangs peeling off. Now a whole slew of Mustangs joining in behind them. Bianchi, Michael Trevarthen, all coming to pit road. 23 to go. Pit road is the hottest place here at the track. It's not the hot dog stand. So DJ Anderson still the race leader. I don't expect to see DJ Anderson in anytime soon. Might play the same strategy that he deployed earlier. There's the 40, though. That is Rob Higgins. Higgins is currently he's a lap down. I'm looking at the scoring. 2 laps down, actually. That is for Rob Higgins. Trying to get one back. Anderson's still out there. Ethan Troutman, Ryan O'Donnell, Kevin O'Brien have yet to come to pit road. Anderson, remember, was the last one to pit on lap number 52. I'm being told he will not be able to make it all the way on fuel here tonight for DJ Anderson. They're just going to try and play a little bit of strategy here. Philly Edwards and Tony Strano coming out of pit road. They have got their stops done. Now the Genesee Cream Ale number 73 will come back out. Tony Strano's right there. He'll actually make the pass on the apron. So these drivers passing every opportunity they have. They're going for passes. Ethan Troutman to pit roads for Ryan O'Donnell and DJ Anderson have yet to come down. Remember, Ryan O'Donnell did miss the cut to the playoffs this season. Unfortunately, was just a couple points out of the playoff bubble. We're kind of racing for the rest of the best of the rest award this season for Ryan O'Donnell. Looks like he's trying to save a little bit of fuel too, possibly. I'm looking at the drivers that came to pit road, and it looks like Richard Murdoch is going to cycle back out as the highest running driver that came to pit road. But with 18 laps to go, he has a 2.3 second lead over Max Terriot, but that is getting closed up very quickly. Let's take a peek at the line as Ryan O'Donnell actually comes to pit road that time. At the line, Richard Murdoch, that lap goes 24.2, while Max Terriot goes 24.1, so you can tell the 42 is a little bit quicker. So things are starting to heat up. All these drivers are spreading themselves out all around the field here. All but 2 drivers now have come to pit road. Anderson, O'Brien have yet to pit. Richard Murdoch will take his lap back. Anderson still staying out. Kevin O'Brien to pit road in the Jim Beam 184, the Aussie. The greatest thing about Kevin O'Brien is he lives in Australia and races here with the drivers out of the eastern side of the United States. So he is across the world and still gets to come out here on Monday night. He was a little short there. Stopped short, story of his life. But hey, He gets to come out and run with these guys, some of the best on the East Coast and all around the world. And then he gets to go to the football stadium at night. Talk about the life. I believe right now it's about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. his time in Australia. Well, it's 9 p.m. here on the East Coast, or at least approaching 9 p.m. as we approach 13 laps to go, and that's what they get this time by at the line for the 51 of DJ Anderson. So Max Terrell back on the leading lap. So it was Murdoch, Skelton, Souza, and now there goes the the 6 of Chris Hammett. 4 of Souza got his back the last lap. Murdoch falling through the field now. Remember, he was 2.3 seconds up on Max Terrell. That didn't last for very long. Murdoch now back to running fourth as Terrell and Skelton both got around him. So he's sitting currently what would be the third spot after DJ Anderson makes his final pit stop. Sean Single making his final stop. Slime all over the hood of that car, all over the front bonnet. And everybody is spread out through the field. The closest cars right now are James Skelton to Max Terrell and James Skelton to Richard Murdoch. So everybody really stretched out. This time by, they should get the double high fives when they come back around actually next time here for the 86 of James Skelton. Still waiting on Anderson to pit. When does he pit? Double high five for him this time for the 51 of DJ Anderson. That's the 2 of Michael Trevarthen. He'll get a lap back that time. So a lap back now puts 7 cars on your lead lap. The next driver would be the Brian Bianchi, number 14. As I think the 51's coming to pit road this time. So with 9 laps to go, DJ Anderson will give up a 15-second race lead. So DJ Anderson coming to pit road. So he will end up giving up the race lead. Where is the number 42? There he is, coming across the line this time. That's your new race leader, Max Terrell. And then there's a driver. And just back behind him, there he is. That's James Skelton. So first and second, just 0.3 of a second separated. Call about 4 car lengths maybe. It's going to get interesting. This one is going to go right down to the wire between these two drivers. There comes the 51 of DJ Anderson out of pit road. Anderson will fall all the way to the 14th spot. 1 lap down. He's the first driver that is 1 lap down on the track. His hopes of making the next round of the playoffs may have just went up right there. We'll see where the chips all fall at the end of this, because 7 laps this time. It'll be 6 laps next time. Report from the 01 of Richard Murdoch's crew is he's trying to save fuel to make it to the end. He was one of the first drivers to pit, and they are about a half a lap short right now on finishing this race out at the 110 lap marker. So Murdoch trying to nurse the Adventure and Pixel 01 back around her. He's getting pressured now by the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. They told him on the radio to save fuel. That's exactly what he's trying to do, but he's trying to hold off for that 3rd spot. He came in sitting 4th in the championship standing, so he could give up this spot here to the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza if needed. DJ Anderson right there going, oh boy, I got the fresh tires. I really want to make the pass, but with 5 laps to go, doesn't want to force the envelope here on these drivers. They're going to see the high five this time by Will, the 3rd, 4th, 5th place car. They're all right here under the blanket. DJ Anderson's just kind of squished in the middle of no man's land. Murdoch not helping the fuel mileage at all as he's up around the high side of the speedway. We would normally call it the Kyle Larson line. Larson, of course, in Pennsylvania in Speed Weeks this week. He's right down the road from our studio here tonight. As there's the battle. And there's a battle at the front, too, because with 3 to go, The race is on for the lead. Here comes James Skelton trying to work the inside. Max Terrell going to go up over where the cushion would be technically, and he'll scrape the outside wall. Now here comes the 86. Skelton will drive it off into the corner. He'll take the race lead. James Skelton will see popsicle sticks this time. It'll be 2 more times around for James Skelton. Does Max Terrell have anything left in the bank of that Ford Mustang? As they sell it out for the moment, there's the battle still at the Hornet's Nest for third. Murdoch still hanging on, but it'll be the white flag this time by for James Skelton. It's the final lap here at Rockingham, presented by Culpepper's Bakery and Cafe. Final lap. James going to go to the top side, and he'll diamond it off and try and get the run down Thunder Alley. There's the deficit between your race leader and second. One final corner here. Max going to try and back it up the corner, give one final run out of turn number 4. He won't be able to. It will be sideways for Terrell across the line. He'll crash it, but it'll be James Skelton, Max Terrell, and Richard Murdoch hanging on, along with Jeffrey Sousa, Chris Hammett, Michael Trevarthen, Brian Bianchi, Ethan Troutman, Ryan O'Donnell, rounding out the top 10. Joe Strano, he'll beat out Tony Strano, Dan Murphy Jr., Rob Higgins, Kevin O'Brien, and DJ Anderson should get credited with 15th, but it is the man that goes to victory lane here tonight. He drives the 86, had to take to the end of the longest line to start this race. Passes the most cars. Your winner here tonight at Rockingham, walking himself into the round of 8. James Skelton doing your victory donuts here tonight. He does the donuts, he does the burnouts, he'll park in victory lane, and we're going to take a quick step away. We'll be back here to The Rock with your post-race show after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to The Rock here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series here on Monday night. These drivers got the Next Generation Cup car wound up here at one of the bumpiest tracks on the iRacing.com platform, and it only took them 110 laps to figure out who was going to win this one, but it came right down to the final laps between the top two drivers here tonight, James Skelton and Max Terriel. Richard Murdoch was able to hang on after limping his car back around here for a third-place finish tonight. Let's head down trackside, though, to talk with your top three finishers, starting off here tonight with the driver that picks up the big win. How about it, James? You had to pass the most cars here tonight, but it all came down to the final pass in the closing laps.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Starting in the rear and the practice race from yesterday, there was a lot of accidents, so I just wanted to be really careful, just working my way through the traffic. I was surprised, more guys weren't running the top through 1 and 2, and then once I saw Max, when he got behind me, he figured it out. I was like, oh man, then he pitted before me, and then even though I had 1 lap fresher tires, I didn't think I was going to be able to pass him. So to get the win, it just feels really good, and it's a lot of good momentum going to the next round.
That's right, because this win is actually going to lock you in. You're going to have next week off for the 4th of July, so that's, well, maybe a good thing or a bad thing, because the momentum has been rolling in your camp.
Yeah, for sure. Just, I think past 3-4 weeks, we've had some really, really good pace, close to race-winning pace. So yeah, we'll take the week off. That'll give me probably an extra week to put some more practice time in and figure it out. Where are we at next week?
Well, on July the 11th, we will head to the Monster Mile with one of the hardest cars to drive, the 1987 Winston Cup machine.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Never raced it there. 87 car is one of my favorite cars, so hopefully there's a good balance and we can figure it out. I know Richard likes the 87 car too, and I like the cars that don't really drive that well. I guess it just fits my style pretty well.
Well, this car looked like it was a handful out there tonight. How was the track with this Next Generation Cup car?
Well, I was glad because I'm pretty sure this is my first race I've actually finished in red light with the next gen car. I think I've wrecked the previous 2 or 3 out, just because when previously in the previous builds, when it got loose, there was just no way of saving it, or I was just really, really bad at it. So it was a little bit of a handful. It was a little bit snugger today than it was in the practice race at some of the practices that I did. So that kind of gave me a little curveball. But it was fun. It was fun to drive. I never shifted, and it was fun to drive a different line through 1 and 2.
How fun was it coming to pit road there under that first green flag pit cycle?
Yeah, I was sweating bullets instantly. I jacked so I had my brake bias really, really low, so I had a lot of rear brakes, and going into pits, I jacked them, I thought, all the way up, but I never really ran, I guess, that long of a run getting on pit road, and I thought I was braking too early, so I gassed it up, and when I gassed it up, I just went left, and then my right rear hit the inside pit wall, and it didn't give me any damage, so thank goodness for that. But yeah, that was spooky.
Well, we watched it back, and it was a heck of a drive there for you, James. So, well, when we roll this red carpet out for the second time this season, we had to wash it after your last win. You got it all muddy. But, hey, tonight here, it's clean. It's for you. It's rolled out. The microphone's yours. Who do you got to thank that helps you out on the 86?
Yeah, I want to thank Richard first, because we did put some practice time in, and he had really, really good pace during practice. He kind of struggled a little bit yesterday in the practice race, and it's awesome for him to come back and get a third-place finish. Thank you, Roger, for everything you do in the broadcast. I'll definitely check it out tonight or tomorrow morning. All the drivers, it's a great race. All of our sponsors, we really, really appreciate it. And then Josh, he does so much, and everybody that came out and watched, we really, really appreciate it.
There you hear it from the driver of the 86. He'll pick up his second win of the season, and that will lock him in to the round of 8. The next time he'll be on the track is at the Dover International Speedway, the Monster Mile, with the 1987 Winston Cup machine. And just finishing behind him, he drives the number 42. Max, a great car here tonight, qualified on the pole, had some really fast speed, but at the end of this one, you're going to finish second. Is there anything you had left in the tank to go back at James?
Not really. Missing last night's practice, I was unaware of the fast line in 1 and 2. When I saw guys doing it, I didn't think it would be beneficial for the right front in the long run, but these physics with these cars are all of whack, so it worked well for the last half race.
Yeah, we don't run the next-gen car, so, I mean, how much seat time did you actually have to prepare here for one of the toughest tracks on the circuit?
Pretty much the 1 hour practice before the race tonight. I had a good idea of fuel distance we could go on half a tank. So I did some 15-20 lap runs to see tire wear. But yeah, these cars, I'm glad we're not running them, and hopefully they can go to the trash.
That seems to be what a lot of drivers were talking about down in the garage area all week. You came into the night, though, sitting 4 spots out of advancing into the next round of the playoffs. Were you aware coming in what you needed to do here tonight?
Do the best I could and came up 1 short, so we'll have to see how the points stack up. But I think with the other drivers missing races, it might work in my favor.
Well, I believe you're one driver ahead of you didn't show up here tonight, so I think you're going to be looking pretty good. You're going to be right there on that cut bubble here. But hey, a great run. The chips are going to fall where they fall. We know you're going to be back for the next 3 races regardless, to be able to pick up a lot of pick up some more wins to add to your lot of wins that you've already had this season. So great run. We do hope that you make it into the next round. We'll see where those points stack up. But who made this all possible up to this point?
Yep, my girlfriend, my friend Max, and my dad. Congrats to James on the win this week, and to Richard on the 3rd place finish. And yeah, definitely, whatever happens with the standings, I'll be there for the next 3 races, trying to win no matter what.
There you hear it. Max comes home second here tonight. A solid run for the 42. And, well, I guess that's just about it here tonight from the Rocking. Oh, I'm only kidding. Murdoch's over here. He's just staring right now, holding his hands up. What do you say, Murdoch? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Man, it took me till the 2nd race of the 1st round of playoffs to talk to you. I think I am living proof that you don't have to come in here and win every week to make the playoffs. You can just get consistent, decent finishes and still be in contention for a championship. So, yeah. Thanks for remembering I'm here.
Well, we remembered you're here. Your beginning of the season started pretty good. A 6th at Chicagoland, and then it kind of fell off the cliff. And all of a sudden, here in the last couple of weeks, this group has really started to rebound again.
Yeah, I've been putting in a little bit more practice, especially towards the end of the season, just to make sure I had a comfortable lead over 12th or 13th, and then in the playoffs, I take it a little bit more serious, I guess. Like James said, him and I put in quite a bit of practice this week here at this track, and it definitely paid off today.
It pays off today. Did it pay off, though, with the Hornet's Nest? You were back there running right around the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th spot for a lot of this race here tonight, and there was a lot of hard racing going on back there. How did you keep the car so clean that you were able to finish this one out?
Yeah, anytime you get your tires, you get loose and your tires heat up, it seems like it takes forever for them to cool off and get some traction back. So I just kind of had to take it easy for a few laps and accept the fact that I was going to move back. And then once I got my grip again, I just kind of buckled down and hit my marks and then was patient and luckily made my way back up, in the top 5, and then tried a little pit strategy there at the end that it didn't work out, but I think it helped me advance a few spots that I wouldn't have got otherwise.
So with your 3rd place finish here, this will officially lock you into the next round of the playoffs. And there's 2 concrete tracks that come up, and well, we go to Dover and then Nashville. With you advancing into the next round of the playoffs, what's the outlook back home in the garage?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the 87 car. James was correct. So I got high hopes for Dover. And just keep it clean, keep it off the wall. That one takes a lot more steering input to get it to turn. That old technology, is a lot different than today. And then Kentucky, just go out and put in enough practice to where I can be competitive and keep it clean, really, no mistakes. That's Nashville, yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, those are the 2 concrete. I didn't think Kentucky had concrete, but I had to double check myself, and no, it doesn't have concrete unless you're on pit road, and that's not where you want to be in. Kentucky is on pit road. So with those 2 races coming up, we look forward to seeing you continue this, not having a win this season, but still able to point yourself. There's only been one other driver that's been able to go all season long and make it to the Final 4. Hopefully you could be driver number 2. Before we let you go, though, Murdoch, who's back home there in South Carolina?
Back here in South Carolina, my dad and brother up in Chester, they're watching, so I appreciate it. And then my buddy here in Somerville, Doug Robertson, thanks for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. And then my sponsors out there in Falcon, Colorado, Jeremy and Katie with Adventure and Pixels. I appreciate you letting me run your business on my hood every week. And their nephew Joe was watching tonight too, so maybe he was my good luck charm. So hopefully he can tune in for the rest of the season. That might help me out a little bit. And then my uncle out there in California, Uncle Gary, if you're tuning in tonight, thanks for watching. James, like you said, we put in a lot of practice and we kind of help each other out. So I definitely wouldn't have been as successful without James kind of giving me some pointers and trading tips with him, and Ryan as well. All of us at Full Throttle, and you, Roger, for putting on this broadcast. I appreciate it. And Josh helping us run this league and keeping all of us in check, and just all the sponsors who help us out with just all the funding that goes into running this league and making what it is.
There you hear it, Richard Murdoch here tonight. The foundation will finish P number 3, and he will advance into the next round of the playoffs. We'll have to wait to see the full exact rundown standings here tonight and see where everybody will fall. The drivers we can tell you are in. Zach Mitchell, he is in with his win last week at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. James Skelton is in on his win here tonight at Rockingham. Then that will also put Richard Murdoch in, and then after that, you really start to have to crunch the numbers of who is in and who is out. Jeffrey Souza will get the nod. He will go to the next round of the playoffs along with Michael Trevarthen. After that, everybody is so close, it's too close to call, like a presidential race, that's for sure. Every time we have one of them, it's too close to call, just like it is here tonight with Red Light Racing. To keep up with all the Red Light Racing news, make sure to head on over to redlightracing.net or follow along on the Facebook page. You will be able to catch all those up-to-date drivers' standings probably here in the next couple of hours. Those will all be finalized and posted for all the eyes to see, who will head to the Dover International Speedway for the first race of round number 2. That will be, though, on the July 11th date, as we are off next week for the 4th of July holiday. So, with that being said, race fans, we're done here tonight at the Rockingham Speedway. For everybody at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, everybody with Red Light Racing, and all of us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here from Rockingham, and we hope you all stay safe over the 4th of July holiday, and we'll see you right back here at Dover.